welcome back to another biking video on Doing Stuff and Filming It. I'm out for another bumble on the 125. Well, actually no, it's not a bumble, it's an errand. I need to go and pick up a product from an Amazon delivery locker that's about 9-10 miles away, something like that. Hopefully I've got the sound a bit better, otherwise you're going to be hearing this as a voiceover. I'll try and keep the speed down. It's late on a Sunday evening, so there's not going to be anyone around. Hopefully you can hear me a bit better than the last bumble video that I made. So, as the title of the video suggests, I've decided to give up on group rides, or, ride outs, I suppose some people call them. Basically riding in a big bloody group. It's a decision I put quite a bit of thought into, and I've said I'm just not going to do them anymore. I just want to do solo trips. Now, if anyone out there who follows my biking content, probably under the impression that I never do group rides, and that's because I very rarely film them. I've got a little bit of ride-out footage. And that's about it. Maybe a few minutes. There's no sound. Yeah, I haven't been on a group ride yet with like my camera and audio setup perfect. It's probably not perfect even when I'm making this. And most of my videos have been in the workshop. But I do them. Or I did do them, at least as regularly as I could. Tell you what, let's go down here. Not in a mad rush. It's the wrong way, but it's a bit nicer down here. But yeah, I've been on some pretty big group rides as well, and until recently really enjoyed them. Not the longest, the biggest I think I've been on must have been at least 20 bikes. It was a really big do, and I really enjoyed it. The longest I ever did was the entire Norfolk coast, from Lowestoft round to Hunstanton. I did it on this 125 as well. It's a great bike. You wouldn't have thought a bike like this would be up to something like that, but it did it no problem. In a lot of ways did a better job than the bigger bikes that were with us. But yeah, recently, essentially, I don't really want to call it an incident, it was more of a series of incidents. It was one ride in particular that kind of broke the camel's back, you could say. And it made me realise that there was an element to the group rides I was going on that I didn't like, wasn't safe, and it's not what I'm about with my riding. And it's been apparent in previous rides, but to a much lesser extent, to the point where I could forgive it and, just blame myself as an inexperienced rider and a bit of a slow coach. I mean, I don't really like going fast. A 125 is perfect for me for a little bit of bumbling around. I only use my bigger bike for longer trips, really. I love riding this bike. And essentially what happened was, it was a ride out to the bike shed in London, which from where I live, or from the meeting point, which isn't that far away either, it's about 80 miles, majority of it motorway, the M11, which takes you all the way down into London, and then of course a bit of London driving, or riding rather. Bike shed is very much central London. Meet up, it's all fine. It was full licence holders from the start because it involves motorway riding. It is a trip that can be done avoiding motorways. You just take the sort of A14, A505, A10 route. The A10 actually getting you closer to your destination than the M11, even though it takes like an extra half hour because of all the detours you have to do avoiding that road. So I knew it was going to be a fast ride to begin with. What I wasn't prepared for was, well, I'd say the level of recklessness on the ride. So we met down the A10 at one of the petrol stations, which is fairly standard, just somewhere to meet up, fill your tank before you go, that sort of thing. And pretty much as soon as we pulled out onto the A10, the tone was set for the rest of the ride. And that was way too fast, overtaking when it just wasn't safe, filtering at stupid speeds, filtering wasn't appropriate, also at stupid speeds, and very much you either do this or you get left behind. And now I'm on the Virago, not the most powerful bike, probably the least powerful on the ride, and I'm giving it full throttle as much as I can, and there was no keeping up with the rest of the group. Now, initially, one rider who had pulled out behind stayed behind me, and I was quite grateful for that, thinking at least there's one person not leaving me behind, one person that's been sensible, and that recognises that I've had my licence 5 months. I'm not going to be able to do some of the things that these other people are doing. And going down the A10, I didn't want to be holding this person up, so I was overtaking and filtering, and did catch back up to the group by overtaking when it was safe. Maybe not as safe as I would have liked, but at that point I'm thinking, Stuart, you need to learn how to not be scared of everything. The bike will do it, you can do it, so just fucking do it. And I continued until we joined the A14 for a short time, and then feed us onto the M11. There, the person that was behind me fucked off, as did the rest of the group, and I am full throttle. The bike is going as fast as it will go. Like I said, it's not a powerful bike. It tops out at about 75, 80. And we joined the M11, which was quite busy, especially for a Sunday. I'd say it's more like a Monday morning how busy it was. And the speed doesn't decrease. And, they're filtering through traffic which is still doing about 60 to 70 mile an hour, even though it's busy. And I have a near miss. It was a middle-aged / elderly lady, looked like a bit of a Karen or Susan, in a Nissan Qashqai. It might have been a Nissan Juke, I don't really give a fuck which. Just decided she wanted to be in my lane. Didn't look, didn't indicate, it just came out. Beeped the horn to say I'm here whilst braking to avoid getting twatted off. Didn't do anything. Just moved out and then proceeded to sit at 60 mile an hour in the outside lane, inching past a fuel lorry. Now, I could have just gone between her and the fuel lorry, but given what she'd just done and her complete lack of awareness, as in I'm leaning on the horn, or holding the button down rather, and she didn't even turn her head. It's just completely fucking oblivious to the world around her. I decided not to. I held back until she eventually got out of the way several miles later, and then I was able to proceed past her. By that time, the group had fucked off. Now, if that woman had knocked me off, it'd have been a serious accident, maybe even a fatal, but no one else in the group would have known because they were gone. And by the time I wouldn't say I caught up, by the time I got to a point where I could see them, they were turning off. I mean, one would normally wait there, mate, but it's a good job I moved over, whatever. I always give way to motorcyclists and cyclists as if they were a car, and it pisses me off when other people don't. But yeah, they were taking the exit, and of course I'm still on the outside lane and missed the exit. So I proceeded to the next one, pulled over where it was safe and tried to find out where they were. Alright, not a big deal, you know, we got separated. But I'm getting a bit annoyed at being left behind at this point. For me, a group ride, you stick together and you look out for each other. And that wasn't happening. So, but, alright, okay, let's carry on. I find out where they are, meet back up with them. And what they've done is stop to pick up another member of the group that lived along the way, and rather than riding all the way up to the first meeting point and then back on themselves, we just met them there. Fine. But then as soon as we set off, we're back to the way it was. Stupid amounts of speed, not really any filtering and overtaking. I'll just stay behind this guy, not in a mad rush. But too fast, and it's raining at this point as well. Enough to affect visibility on a helmet visor. And then eventually we rejoin the M11, and it's the same again. Just off at stupid speeds to the point where I can't keep up. It's just got no chance whatsoever. And I'm left behind yet again. The funny part was, it started to absolutely belt it down whilst we were on the motorway. So everybody slowed down because you can't see. You've got mist and spray, and your visor starts to both get water on it and fog up because it's fucking freezing cold rain even in July. And the funny thing was is I was comfortable doing a higher speed than most other people in the group. So I, for a short time, ended up leading the group. And at one point I looked and they were fucking miles behind me as well. And bar one or two which were still riding like complete pricks. And these people are my friends as well, and I do think highly of them. But they were riding like pricks. It was quite disappointing. But then the rain stops, visor's clear, and the speed is back. And I must have done 30 miles or more on the M11 at full throttle on the Virago. And for a time everyone was following me. But then as it started to get drier and drier, speed picked up again. So, not a big deal, you know, they're going a little faster than I am, but the traffic's such that they occasionally had to slow down. They weren't so much leaving me behind. What are you beeping at, mate? Someone I know? Oh no, I'll watch the footage back and see what they're fucking on about. And then came the part which really sealed it for me. As we're approaching London, as you would expect, traffic. Lots of traffic. And we're coming up behind this traffic at, 70. And everybody goes to filter. This traffic is still moving, by the way. It's still doing about 40, 50 mile an hour. But they proceed to filter at 70 plus, or what looked like it. And I start filtering and going as fast as I dare, but I can't keep up with that. And there was a point, because the Virago has a really skinny wheel on the front, it caught like a little groove in the road and had a wobble. And I've still got the saddlebags on the back of it, so it's quite wide. And yeah, nearly hit a car, and it would have been my fault. I thought, yeah, I'm not doing this. So I moved in to a lane and just proceeded normally. Again, just completely fucking left behind. The funny thing was, I proceeded along the motorway. I've no idea where they've gone. There was an exit with the motorway split into two different motorways. No fucking idea which one was the right one, so I just picked one and then got off it when I could and set my phone up as a sat-nav, and I'll just make my own way there. So that's what I did. Made my way through the centre of London, and I'm still filtering, but in stationary traffic or very slow moving traffic. But at a speed that's comfortable to me and that feels safe as well. Now, no doubt that everyone that was filtering at stupid speed enjoyed themselves. If they try and tell me that was safe, then they're lying to me, and they're lying to themselves as well. I don't care how long they've had their license, it was fucking balmy. But anyway, I'm riding through, you know, the centre of London, making my way there. Along the way, I can see the Olympic Village over to my left. Sat-nav says I need to be heading right, and I'm like, let's go have a look around, you know. It's not like I'm slowing the group down. So, yeah, went for a little ride. Didn't stop, there wasn't anywhere to park. Remember, London is a city with more cameras in it than literally anywhere else. But, you know, I had a ride round and went up to that, like, weird red tower thing that's there. And then made my way to the bike shed, to the restaurant. Fucking hilarious thing was, I was expecting everyone to be there, ordered, eating their food, and they'd be like, oh, what happened to you, mate? I got there before everyone. So I don't know where they went, you know, and they're all, you know, buzzing from their high-speed ride, and, you know, I don't begrudge them that, you know, enjoying their ride, but it obviously wasn't fucking faster, was it? You know, I've managed to go, well, it may have been the wrong way, it may have been the right way, I don't know, but I've managed to go a different way, stop, take time to, you know, I had to take my gloves off, get my phone out, set it up, get it in its mount and everything, take a detour, and still get there before them. And that's taking it at my own steady pace as well. Oh, and because on the Virago at the moment anyway, the mount for my phone is on the tank, so I'm constantly having to look down at it, and I did go the wrong way a couple of times, missed junctions, or just wasn't able to get in the correct lane, that sort of thing. Around here. And I still got there before them. So, got there, had a meal. Food's not to write home about, it's fairly nice. Best bit was the price. I was expecting it to be ludicrously expensive, but it was actually quite reasonable, especially for the centre of London. 15 quid for a full English breakfast. That includes swapping the bacon for pork belly, which was an extra £1, so it'd have been £13.95 if I'd left it as standard. Yeah, it was okay food, just a fairly standard full English that you'd get in any cafe. Really cool place though, you know, it's got a bar, obviously I wasn't drinking. They had live sports, got a shop, I got myself a patch for my rucksack, all that sort of thing. Let's go down here. A lot of people at the pub tonight. Wonder if it's anyone I know, wonder if they've recognised me. And yeah, we spent a fair bit of time there. And then the plan was to go do a spot of sightseeing. Well, people wanted to go around to Buckingham Palace, like ride down the Mall and get a photo in front of those, you know, the famous black gates. I was against the idea because I'm 99.9% certain you can't park there, and if you do, either the soldiers will well, shout at you, or the Met will shoot you and get away with it because it's the Met. But, you know, one guy was convinced that he knew a place that we could stop. Either that or we'd go to the Houses of Parliament, which is an even bigger terrorist target, and stop there. I was really against that one. I thought, oh, fucking hell, we're going to die. But that was the decision. So we set off out of the bike shed, again filtering in traffic, which I've no problem with. You know, it's stationary traffic and you're perfectly allowed to do that. And I was looking forward to practicing my filtering, because it's not something I get to do very often. I live out in the arsehole of nowhere. I need to be in here. I can't remember if I mentioned, but I've come to collect an Amazon parcel. It's a product that I plan on reviewing on the channel. That'll be subject to another video though. Right, let's just go and get it briefly. It shouldn't take a minute. Lovely. Let's go back the way we came. Yeah. It's a bit more interesting going this way. Right, where was I? Let's close my lid. Oh yeah, so we leave the bike shed, and yeah, a bit of filtering in slow moving traffic and yada yada. But then the same problem came up again. Now, just about every road I went down whilst I was in London was a 20. I think it's maybe a 20 limit throughout the whole city. I may be wrong, but every road I seem to go on in that city was a 20 limit. And nobody was sticking to that or doing anywhere close to it. Again, cameras everywhere. Speed cameras, security cameras, the Met which will shoot you and get away with it. All that bullshit. Let's go up the hill this way, shall we? I don't know, we'll carry on. So I want to stop at the petrol station. I think at one point I got caught at a red light. Not a big deal because the rest of the group got caught at another red light. But then we both go green at the same time, and I'm trying to catch up to them because I'm at the back again, obviously. Despite starting near the front, everyone just wanted to just go as fast as they fucking could. At one point I'm doing about 40, 45, and they're just getting away from me. And I thought, I'm not doing this. And they're maintaining that sort of speed, weaving through traffic. And then it happened again. I got caught at a red light. And it wasn't like it was a late amber, or I could have given it the beans and got through, or it was just red and I'd have got away with it. One, you can't really do that in London. The lights are timed differently. If it's red, you need to stop because you're going to get twatted off if you're not, because the traffic coming the other way will have already started moving at a lot of junctions. And I thought, I'm just not doing this. I'm not going to go that fast, and I'm not going through red lights. For one, I need my licence for my job. What happened? Just get left behind. And I sit at these lights and I see them riding off into the distance and make a right turn. Okay, so go as quickly as I can while still being safe and legal. Down, make the same right turn. No fucking sign of them. Gone. Get to the end of that road, look left, look right, no sign of them. Can't even hear them, because they're all making a fucking lot of noise as well going through the centre of town. And I just thought, you know what, getting left behind is boring. It really is. It gets tiring really quickly. So yeah, because I refused to ride dangerously, break the law, break the speed limits, you know, go through red lights, I got left behind in a city that I've been to 3-4 times in my life. And I've been inside the M25 quite a few times for work, but like round Enfield. That's different though. I'm on a sat-nav and it's not properly London. Now I'm right in the centre. I've never ridden or driven in London before. And I'm just left there. Fortunately, I had just enough charge left on my phone, because the front USB on the Virago broke while I was on holiday, to get me out of London and back onto the M11. I could find my own way home from there. But had it been dead, I'd have been fucked. You know, I'd probably still fucking be there. Is this place still open? I forgot it's late on a Sunday. Oh, barriers up. Pumps are still turned on. Screw it, let's just see what happens when we go for fuel. Oh yeah, doors are open and everything. Yeah, so I got some fuel, about £1.80 a fucking litre it was. But, you know, that's what I get for riding to London, I suppose. Made my way home. And I was quite upset with it as well. because it's the first time on a group ride where I've just felt like no one really gave a toss. You know, I had a near miss. I had another near miss with a taxi in the centre of London whilst I was trying to catch up to everyone. And nobody looked back. Nobody tried to ring me. Eventually, about 2.5 hours after I'd lost everyone, I'm already sat at home, warm and dry at long last, because it was fucking... I rode through a fucking hailstorm on the way home, before anyone messaged me and say, you know, are you home okay? And I just said, yeah, thanks for checking. But, you know, I could have been dead. And nobody fucking noticed. Get back on there, you. Alright, let's go and pay. 9.38 litres. 1537. I mean, that is, you know, their BP Ultimate, the 97 E5, but still, a bit much. I blame the Tories. So, that's what happened. And it was quite upsetting. All these new houses. Talking about these with some mates the other day, and all they were doing, because they work in the trade, was just pointing out everything that was wrong with them. Let's go back this way. Yeah, I was quite upset with it. It was just that whenever I've been on group rides before, it was always a matter of we stick together and we look out for each other. And I loved that part of it, as well as, you know, being out with me mates, riding my bike. There was nothing that I didn't like about it, except for this one thing. And I got home, and I told my partner everything that had happened, everything that I've just told you, in all the same level of detail. And they were quite angry as well. And they were like, that's really shit, Stuart. You know, just being left behind like that. And it has quite upset me. We have like 4 group chats. Quite a few people in this group, and I've muted them all. And I haven't even read the messages. About 600 unread messages in there now. I just don't want to do with any of it at the moment, at the time of filming. I haven't told anyone about my feelings, but I'm gonna type something up in Microsoft Word and put it in there. I don't know how people are going to react. Maybe about to end my friendship with, well, all of my friends. You know, that's life, isn't it? Let's go this way. By the time this video goes out, I will have told everyone how I feel about what happened. But I've been sort of holding off on it to see if my feelings change. I didn't want to rush into anything. Oh, a group of bikers. I imagine they're having more fun than I was having. Alright guys, alright. I don't recognise any of you. See someone with an L plate at the back. I wonder if they're getting left behind like I did. I don't know why this overheat light keeps coming on either. It's not overheating. No way it's overheating, I'm just bumbling along. Yeah, we're good. But yeah, spoke about it with my partner. I've been waiting to say something. My feelings, I mean the anger's gone, but I'm still quite upset by it. That's a nice pub we've just gotten past as well. Didn't look too full. I haven't got any beer at home either. Anyway, yeah, if you haven't figured out yet what my problem was on this group ride, it was the pressure to go faster than I was comfortable with, faster than was safe, to ride beyond my limits and the limits of my bike as well. You know, it may have over 500cc, but that's air-cooled, and it's 30 years old. The engine being designed in like the 70s, I think. You know, the Virago is not a new bike by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, it was the pressure to ride beyond my limits and the limits of the bike. And it's happened to me before. My first ever ride out, I was on the 125, few weeks after I'd passed my test, not passed my test, done my CBT. Might have been a few months actually, I can't really remember now. I'm the only 125 in the group. Everyone sets off, not at stupid speed, but went round a roundabout, and I was thinking, you can do it, Stuart, you can do it. You know, they're not going that fast. The bike will do it, you just need to have confidence. And well, I nearly came off. The back tyre came out from under me. Luckily, I was in a position to put my leg down, otherwise I'd have been on the ground. Now, in that situation, I told people what had happened, and they're like, well, you should go at the front and set the pace, and that was great. But it's been happening ever since. Had a ride down to Royston on the Virago, and again, pretty much the whole way, I'm pounding it, I'm going as fast as the bike will go, and there's still pressure to go faster. I'm taking corners faster than I want to, and I'm still not keeping up. It's like that, and it ruins it. You know, I'm not, like right now, I'm relaxed and I'm living life. I'm just talking away. And when I went on my solo camping trip on the Virago a few weeks back, I just sort of went at my own pace. I mean, I was doing 70 on the dual carriageways, I was doing 60 on the country roads. If I felt I needed to slow down, then I just did it. You know, and at no point did I feel uncomfortable. I had a big fucking grin on my face the whole way. And that grin has gone. I used to go on group rides and have a grin on my face the whole fucking way. People thought I was mad. But that grin has gone. And before it was fairly mild. And, you know, if I did slow down, nobody would overtake me, at least nobody in the group. And nobody, you know, there was no chance of me being left behind, but the pressure was still there to go faster than I wanted to. But it was especially apparent on this ride, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I loved being out with my mates. I loved the place. It's a really cool place. I want to go back, but the riding, I don't want to do it again. I'm not gonna. Like I say, I plan on being alive for a good long time. If I try and do what some of these people do, and you'd be lucky if I'm alive tomorrow. So yeah, at some point I'm going to have to let the group know. It's not that I'm not going to go out with people, but it's going to be, tell me where you're going, I'll meet you there. Oh, you know what, shall we go through Ely? Yeah, I'm not in a mad rush. I'm a bit peckish, but I'm not in a mad rush to get home. Let's go through Ely, past the cathedral. It's a nice little ride through town. But yeah, I'm just going to meet people there, so I can still go to events and everything, but I don't want to be part of a group ride anymore. And maybe my attitude will change. Maybe over the coming years. Shabby cargo pants back in fashion now?
Ha ha, you're old!
Maybe over the coming years I'll get a bit more experience. I would like a more powerful bike in the sort of mid to near future. Thinking possibly a cruiser, more likely a sports tourer of some sort, because I want to do big trips. And I'm confident the Virago will do it. I'm confident my 125 could do it. But I want something that can do it a bit more comfortably. Comfortably for the bike. Don't know if it'll necessarily be more comfortable for me. And, you know, maybe in the future I'll be more confident riding at much higher speeds and want to go back to group riding. But it's not going to be any time soon. And it's quite sad. Thank you. Still give you plenty of room though, bud. Thanks for moving. I'll give you a wave. Because group rides, you know, I used to love them. And I suppose the other option is I could just keep saying, well, you know, it's a one-off, Stuart. Maybe this ride was a bit too much for you. Maybe you just need to sort of consider who else is going and try and work out what sort of ride it's going to be. Maybe go for the easier rides. The bigger groups, you know, where we all do stick together, aren't that much of an issue. I still think that pressure's going to be there. And let's be honest, biking is dangerous. And if you're going to do it, you need to keep yourself safe. I don't think if I set myself a rule aimed at keeping me safe, I need to stick to it. Unless, of course, there's a considerable amount of evidence to the contrary. Or evidence that, you know, I'm wrong. But in this case, I don't think I am. So yeah, that is why you won't be seeing any group rides from me for quite some time. And before this video goes out, I am going to tell everyone how I feel. You never know, I might not have any fucking friends by the time this video goes out, in which case I'll tag that on at the end. I'm confident. I think it'll be received positively. Maybe not by everyone, because, you know, I'm going to give my reasons, and a lot of those reasons are going to be quite critical of people's riding and attitudes, and they're probably not going to agree with me, and they're probably going to get quite butthurt. I expect at least one person will turn around and go, maybe you just need to learn to ride better, Stuart. And yes, I do. And that's why I'm not coming on fucking group rides anymore, because, you know, I'm not up to the things that are being demanded of me, and I plan on being alive. Let's go down here through the tunnel. It's only a short one, but tunnel's a tunnel, and I'm on a bike. But yeah, I think it'll generally be received positively. At least I hope it is anyway. Come on then, let's do a bit of revving through here, shall we? Should have brought the Virago after all, that thing loves tunnels. Right. I've not timed this ride very well. The plan was to have finished explaining why I'm not doing group rides anymore, just in time for when I got home. At the moment, I've still got about 20 minutes till I get home. So let's just have a bit of a ride down here. What else can we talk about? The thing I've just picked up is some Rain-X. It's actually off the back of the ride to London that I've just been complaining about for the past however long, half an hour, maybe more. When I was on the ride, and this was probably some of the heaviest rain I've ever ridden in. Maybe the time I rode up to see my parents was a little heavier, but they were about the same. Can't see a fucking thing out the visor. I'm wiping, it's just not working. It has to be a better way. I did see a company, they made like little windscreen wipers for visors, glue them to basically your forehead on the outside of your helmet. And you can turn it on but with a little Bluetooth remote on your handlebars, and it's just a tiny windscreen wiper. I thought it was quite cool. The advert came up on Instagram just as I was thinking, is there a windscreen wiper for motorcycle helmets? Surely someone's thought of this and tried it. And then there it was. I wasn't speaking out loud, I didn't type anything into Google, which makes me think that Google Pixel phones can read your mind, or maybe it was a coincidence. No, I think it was definitely built in telepathy. Anyway, but they wanted to, it was like 250 quid for this thing. I was like, what the fuck? For your little gizmo. Oh, hello mate. I mean, I'm doing 50. The limit for you on this road is 50. You're going to fit through this bridge. There's a low bridge coming up, and he is quite tall for him. I suppose we'll see. Oh, but there it is, look. Yeah, I think he's going to fit. He's braking, he's not sure. Is he checking his plate? That is inches. It's 3.5 meters. I reckon he must have been like 3.45. Oh dear, mate. I'd have laughed so hard if he'd hit it. I mean, after checking everyone was okay, obviously. It goes down there. No bridges down that way. But yeah, anyway, a little windscreen wiper for your helmet. It's like 250 quid. I'm like, nah, mate. I'm not doing that. I looked at different gloves. I've heard of some gloves having like a little patch sort of on your thumb here, and it's basically super absorbent. It's like a microfiber cloth, so you can wipe your visor off. But I couldn't actually find any that do that, so maybe I imagined it. I thought about maybe just sewing on a little bit of microfiber cloth onto, you know, my left glove, or maybe something on the inside of my jacket cuff. I don't really want to be sewing onto my safety equipment, putting holes in it. And I thought, hang on a minute, when I was at the dealership, working at Vauxhall, we used to sell this stuff called Duxpack, and you basically like put it on a car windscreen, and the water basically just beads up and runs off. And supposedly it was developed by, I think they said Boeing. Read into that what you want. For aircraft to fly in the rain for better visibility. Well, you must be able to put that on helmet visors, because I know a lot of the lads, this is before I started riding obviously, a lot of the lads that did ride were planning on doing that. So I looked up Duxpack, because I had it on my car windscreen, it worked really well. Can't fucking find that product anywhere. A few places selling it, but I don't know if they've gone bust. I mean, if it was a product of Boeing, who fucking knows? Put it on my visor and the fucking wheel will fall off or something like that. Or maybe they've just rebranded, I don't know. But eventually I found this Rain-X. I thought, I'll just double check. Is this safe for plastic, for visors? Because I know it's okay for glass, but glass and plastic are two very different things. I don't want to fuck my helmet up or, you know, compromise its safety in any way. It turns out it's not. But after a bit more research, it turns out Rain-X do a version for plastic, and it's made specifically for motorcycle visors, because they're not normal plastic and visors. They have their own like coatings and shit on them. So that's what I've picked up, and I won't do it when I get home because I'm getting really quite hungry now. But that will be subject of another video. I'll do a nice little review into it. I'll show you how it's applied and all that sort of thing. You watch, it won't fucking rain now for like the rest of the year. Never mind, I'll figure something out. Wear my helmet in the shower if I have to. Prickwillow Engine Museum, just gone past there, over to my right. It's an old pumping station. Well, I think I mentioned in my last Bumble on a 125 video. Around here. This whole Fenland area needs to be constantly pumped out because we're below sea level. That's been a pumping station at that place for hundreds of years. It's also a drainage museum now. They call it Prickwillow Engine Museum. The road signs say drainage museum. When I first moved here, I didn't know anything about the fens, other than they were really flat and hardly anyone fucking lived out here. Suited me to the ground. So I've seen signs for drainage museum, and I'm thinking, what, like sewers and shit? You know, well, that's a really smelly fucking place. But no, it's not. It's all about draining the fens. And I've lived out here for 8 years and I still haven't been. I tried to go once with my partner. It was not long after the pandemic, because we love things like that, both of us. We spend all day in even the tiniest museum. We did once go to the world's smallest museum and still spent half a day there. But yeah, we did once try, but a few of their volunteers, museum volunteers, nearly always elderly, were still isolating and probably weren't ever going to come back. It's still an active pumping station, thankfully. And the actual museum side, I think, is only open like one day a week, if that. And since then I've changed job, and unfortunately me and my partner get very few days off together. We just haven't had a chance to go back now. I could go on my own, but I can only go with my partner. Or should I say fiancé now. If I do go, there will be lots of pictures and videos, because I love that sort of thing. Because they've got, supposedly anyway, all the different types of pump, and a lot of them still run and are still actively pumping. They're not just for show. Started off with wind power, and then it'll go to steam power, and then diesel, and the main pump that's doing most of the work now, of course, is electric. It's all there, and I love that sort of thing. Traction engines, big ships engines, all that sort of thing, right up my street. I was looking on their website and their opening hours fairly recently, and saw they're advertising for a marketing director. Voluntary basis. They want, you know, maybe like one day a week from you, which I can commit to. Should probably get in touch with them. I wonder if they're open tomorrow. I don't want to just email them. I want to... no one coming. Extra careful at this junction. People come along here way too fast. It's a 60 limit. Very few people do it. We did have a bike unfortunately die at that junction not too long ago. But yeah, they just want something to do on their like social media. Well, I grew up using social media. I'm filming for YouTube right now. I think I could make a contribution. A few more miles and I'm home. I was quite pleased by one of the comments on my Bumble on 125 video. One of my subscribers lives nearby. At the time of recording this, he's asking, do I ever get up to Hunstanton? I do. I quite like going to Hunstanton. I've done a few group rides up there. Not anymore. I'm going to go on my own now. See what he says. It'd be pretty cool to would meet up, say go to Hunstanton or something, see the bike. Oh dear me, now I've got sneeze on the inside of my visor. That's what I get for trying to make content when I've got a cold. Yes, I've managed to get a cold in July. It's July when I'm filming this. You're probably not going to see it till September, because I've already made July and August video. Yes, I managed to get a cold on my holiday in July. What a twat. Right, I think we'll finish the video here. I'm not going to film right up to my house, so we'll call that it. Hopefully I haven't rambled too much. If I have, I'll cut it down as much as I can for you. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Thank you for watching this video on doing stuff and filming it. Please don't forget to press the big button here in the middle to subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you liked what you just saw, please click the like button below and leave a comment letting me know what you liked about it. And as always, thank you for watching.